Welcome to the Brutally Honest Show. Tonight, the immortal Matt Brown, UFC heavyweight champion Fabricio Werdum, female Invicta FC 145-pound champion Cris Cyborg, UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos. This is the Brutally Honest Show. Wow, I want to thank whoever sent in that amazing intro for us tonight. That sounded great. Thank you very much. This is Aaron True, 2010 MMA Reporter of the Year nominee, joined by my co-host, Jonathan King from the Clinch Report, and the Mad Hatter, Adrian Gallegos from MMA Prime TV. Tonight, we have an incredible show. We're going to have Matt Brown on live in 4 minutes, but tonight we're going to jump right into it. Clinch, what is our headline tonight?
Everybody is ablaze on social media with the news that Stitch Duran is no longer going to be employed by the UFC at any events, and I think a few cut men are going to be right behind him. So
last I heard, Stitch said, I think yesterday or this morning, hey, I lost all my sponsors. Not only can I not have any names on my vest anymore, I can't even wear the vest I used. It's now a vest with no names, no sponsors. I lost all of my additional income. I might have to go back to boxing. Then what happens is...
Gets canned. He gets canned. The UFC came out and they wouldn't issue a statement, but Stitch Duran, responding to a tweet, said that you guys will be the first to know that I was released by the UFC today. Apparently, UFC doesn't like it when people piss in their Cheerios.
What? They let him go?
They let
You didn't hear the breaking news?
No, I didn't know they let him go.
Is no longer employed by the UFC.
So, Adrian, you had heard the news that he was kind of complaining, I guess we'll call it what it is, right?
Yeah, he was just saying the facts. I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he was complaining. I mean, he was just telling what it was. The fact of the matter is, you know that somebody asked him a question or they tweeted, "Hey, I noticed there's no more sponsors on your vest. So, are you getting paid in another way? Or are you getting compensated?" He's just responding. You can't hold him accountable for responding to somebody else's question.
Well, the UFC just responded to his response.
I think the UFC is sending a message that, hey, we're bigger than you. The sport is not bigger than Stitch Duran. Although Stitch, he's friends with so many of the guys. He has an incredible reputation among the sport. He's just an overall good guy. He donates so much time to events like MMA Junkie Radio, the Fan Fest. He wraps hands. He volunteers to wrap hands at amateur fights. I mean, he's let me into his home, in his living room, to interview him before. He's an overall good guy.
I'm just gonna. Sorry to cut you off, John, but really, it just reminds me of McCarthy, right? When he's talking, he was going to go to Affliction and become a referee over there, and I remember Dana White saying, "Oh, you know what? You don't become a referee to become rich," because I don't even know what John McCarthy said or did, but I just remember that he got banned from UFC for a while. Do you think that's the same thing with what's going on with Stitch?
It's definitely the big bad wolf taking control. I don't know. There's a couple different things a couple different ways you can look at it. One, the UFC is taking advantage of Stitch, like Aaron said, taking advantage of Stitch, just responding to a tweet, which is pretty much what he did. And the second way you can look at it is the UFC is an employer, and if you don't do what they say, or you say something that's against them, it's a right to employ somebody. So I agree, it sucks because it's kind of a shitty thing to do to somebody, but the ramifications could be huge. Like you said, he's a huge personality in the sport. He's got a lot of followers, a lot of friends.
Plus, how many fights has he stopped, or has he saved from being stopped, just by being a good cut man or calming the guys down?
But the bad press that the UFC is getting with fighter pay and the Reebok deal already, you would think that they would try to prevent something like this. So I could see that point of view as well. It's not good for the fighters because he's one of the best cut men in the business. So obviously, it's a move that wasn't done with the fighters' best interests in concern. So that's where I have an issue.
We're going to be bringing Matt Brown on right now, the immortal Matt Brown, live to the show. He's someone who started off 12-11 in his career. 12-11. Not that great, right?
Yeah.
Then he won 8 of his next 10 fights. He's the number 5 ranked welterweight in the world currently, number 5.
Wow.
He's coming off a submission guillotine win at UFC 189. He had, I believe, 5 consecutive finishes, TKOs, over that streak when he 8 of 10. His only losses coming to Robbie Lawler and Johnny Hendricks. Matt Brown is one of the greatest turnaround success stories in the sport. So we're going to be linking in Matt Brown here in a second. We've got the number 5 ranked welterweight in the world, the immortal Matt Brown. Matt, thank you very much for joining the show tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure.
We're going to jump right into it because I know that it's late over there. We appreciate you taking the time. It's past midnight. Matt, you've won 8 of your last 10 fights, several of them being finishes by KO and most recently by submission. How have you been able to have this resurgence in your career and literally become not only the top 5 fighter in the world, but in my opinion, a prize fighter? You're someone that I would pay to see to fight.
Yeah, I don't consider so much a resurgence. I mean, I know I had a downtime there, and I know that from the outside, it looks like a resurgence, and that's a good way to describe it from someone on the outside. For me personally, it was just staying consistent, staying on the grind every day, doing what I do, working hard, not giving up, and I guess I just kind of follow all those cliches that you hear, the same old things that, never give up and don't stop, all that kind of same stuff. And I just kind of stayed on it, man, and things just happen to be working out for me now. I think when you work hard, good things happen.
Speaking of working hard and getting back on track, like you said, good things happening, you had won, I believe, 7 fights in a row. And then your only 2 losses were to now champion Robbie Lawler and former champion Johnny Hendricks. You were put onto the prelims at UFC 189. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked because you're a guy, if I'm going to pay to watch a card, I want to pay to see Matt Brown fight. Do you think that it was a good thing to be on the prelims? Did you not carry their way? Or what were your feelings on that?
Yeah, it doesn't really affect me either way. I'm not getting, well, at least for that card, I wouldn't be getting pay-per-view points. So that's really the only thing that would make a difference. Outside of, obviously the exposure is better when you're the main event. But if I'm not going to be the main event of the main card, I might as well be the main event of the prelims, which I haven't seen any ratings or anything. I haven't looked, but I assume I probably got just as many eyes on me as anybody on the main card did.
Yeah, and it was also actually one of the all-time greatest fight cards ever in MMA history. I was in Vegas watching the fight, Matt, and unbelievable. I have to tell you, up until the Robbie Lawler Rory McDonald fight, I had the Tim Means Matt Brown as being the fight of the night, even though it only lasted as long as it did. It was one hell of a back and forth war. You guys were throwing leather.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I'm a big enough fan that I was happy to watch that fight and happy that it was a great fight because I love seeing great battles like that. It was a great chess match, a great war of attrition between the two. It had everything that a great fight needs. But at the same time, I was like, God, would you guys quit fighting so hard and so I can give this fight a night bonus?
Now
didn't work out that way, but
recently, I believe it was Jorge Masvidal called you out on MMA Junkie or something like that. And I know that there's a couple guys up there, ready to take on Matt Brown. But who do you want to fight at this point, man? I mean, you've pretty much fought everybody. You're making your way back up for a title run. Are the top 3 guys the only ones that you're considering right now?
Well, everybody thinks they want a shot at Matt Brown until they get in there with Matt Brown.
That's right.
Sometimes their minds change then. But, no, really, I already actually have my next fight pretty much booked. I just talked to Dana about an hour ago, so I can't really say anything yet because it's not really confirmed. But I pretty much, so I guess the whole thing is pretty much irrelevant. Who I want to fight is pretty much in stone now. There's always some, the possibility of something happening, but looks like it's pretty much set.
Right on, man.
All right, nice. Well, Matt, let me ask you a question. You're a huge metal rock fan or a metal fan in terms of music. Do you have your own custom walkout song?
I do, and I finally got to walk out to it on my last fight there. Jamie Josser wrote it for me, and Dana had turned it down in the past They never really let anybody come out to hate breed for whatever reason. So I was fortunate that he finally let me do it.
And is it true that you were at a concert when the former Pantera guitarist was actually murdered on stage, Dimebag Darrell?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh wow.
Can you tell us like what happened?
Yeah, I mean, the short version is he got shot. But
Holy shit.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I've told the story many times. I think there's a video on YouTube about it and everything. But really, I mean, I was just there in the not the first row, but there was like, you know, one line of people in front of me. You know, at a metal concert, it's not really rows, but there was like one person in front of me, and then the barrier, and then security, and then the stage. So I was probably within, I don't know, 10 yards of Dimebag when he got shot. And first thought was I actually didn't realize he'd got shot. Maybe I was drinking too much, whatever, I don't know. But I didn't hear the gunshots. I thought he got stabbed. So we tried brushing the stage. A few different people was actually kind of in that same boat as me, trying to go towards the stage rather than run away from it. And then he started firing shots off into the crowd, and that was what made me turn around and started to head towards the door. At some point, I basically turned around and looked at, stopped running and turned around and looked back, and I just remember thinking to myself that I'm not going to get shot in the back running from this motherfucker. And sometime, it was a long time ago, so all the actual timing, is maybe a little bit of a blur. But at some point, I watched. So an off-duty cop came in, had a shotgun, came into the back door. I watched him come in and watched him shoot the guy right in the head. The perpetrator. Yeah, and that's a really quick version of the story. Like I said, I've actually probably told it 100 times since I don't know, whenever the MMA media found out that happened. Like I said, I probably told the story 100 times. Everybody's asked me about it. So.
Well, that's a pretty crazy incident. We have a couple more questions before we let you go. First, Cutman from the UFC, Stitch Duran, got let go today. Do you think that will result in any of your fights being maybe stopped before they would have been, or your opponents now, unfortunately, having the fight stopped earlier because you cut them up with the elbows?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I'd never really thought about that. I mean, they have lots of other qualified cutmen. I don't, he's not the only guy, but yeah. Outside of that, I mean, I haven't really heard the whole story. I don't really know all the details. I know I posted a thing about Reebok today on Twitter, thanking them for sending me some gear, and a lot of people was giving me hate, saying that what a coincidence. It's the same day. I was like, I didn't even know that happened until after I made that tweet. Like, I don't sit here on the internet all day and read the whatever news is going on.
Well, for a guy like you with all those fights under Zuffa, the Reebok deal probably isn't that bad of a deal then. You don't have to go look for a sponsor, and you get a decent paycheck every fight.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And, I see both sides of the equation. I can tell you, if I were in charge, I would probably do it differently than the way that it is. But I'm not in charge, so you have to leave that up to the powers that be. And yeah, I don't have any reason to be angry about the way things are. I don't know about other people's situations. Unfortunately, I'm not. Maybe I'm too selfish of a person, and but at this point, I mean, the UFC's been good to me my whole life, and I'm gonna be good to them back.
All right, one more question from me, and then we'll get to the last question from my co-host before we let you thank everyone who's supporting you and let you get going. I know it's late over there. Let's see here. Oh, yes, Matt. So everyone knows about you got your nickname, The Immortal, because of a situation that happened in your past, dealing with drugs and substance abuse. you've managed to now become, in my opinion, whether you think so or not, a role model. I think you're somebody who is a great example of overcoming, possibly partying too hard, being immature, or having an addiction or an issue, whether you did or not, or whatever. The point is, I think that you're an incredible role model, and what you've done is amazing. Can you maybe just give some advice or share just briefly some inspiration into your story, just that maybe someone listening who knows someone or is suffering themselves could maybe take from you?
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. I could just give out one piece of advice and that would change somebody's life.
It might.
Was that?
I said it might. Hopefully it might.
Yeah, hopefully. I can only look back at my situation, and I know what helped me change myself, and that was that. And the one line is actually the line that I wrote, or didn't write, but I gave to Joseph for the song that he wrote for me. And what I put was a quote that stuck with me from the beginning, and it says, "Stop trying to find yourself and start defining yourself." And I felt like, for me personally, that really that hit home when I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff. I think I was maybe doing a little bit of self-exploration and searching, and didn't really know where I belonged in the world, and was kind of lost in that sense. And then when I decided that I knew who I wanted to be and decided to go be that person, that was when my life changed. So I think that if that can ring true for someone else, I hope that they can understand the same type of thing. And you can be whoever you want to be, and you don't have to. Drugs aren't the answer as to who you want to be. You can define yourself by getting off your ass and going out and doing positive things.
Right on, Matt. I have a question for you. It's not more of a question. It's more of a statement. But there's a guy I would really like to see you fight out there right now. And maybe if this is the person, you can confirm it with silence by not saying anything. I would really like to see you fight Carlos Condit.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see, right?
To me, that would be. To me, I'm putting $500 that the fight ends by elbow, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to win some money either way.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this: the guy that I'm most likely going to be fighting is completely unexpected.
Ooh.
I didn't expect this at all. It's not Condit, I can tell you that.
George St. Pierre, GSP.
Does it rhyme with Schmorch Smear?
Oh man, it rhymes with something crazy, I can tell you that. But yeah.
I think that's possibly confirmation. Okay, Matt, last thing. I want to hear who you're working with, and I want you to be able to thank anyone who's been helping you inside and outside the octagon. So tell me kind of about who's been supporting you.
Man, there's so many people that I could thank. I don't really like going on that tangent, only because, look, I owe equal thanks to so many people that anybody that I leave out is just wrong to leave them out. So
no problem. Just
yeah,
giving you
they all
platform.
know who they are, and I show thanks in person. And I believe that's more heartfelt when I show it in person too.
I agree. I'm the same way. It's just I always want to give the guys a platform just for their time, but I respect that, and that's why I like you, just because of your mannerisms and things like that. Matt Brown, thank you so much for your time. I know you're on the East Coast. We have just finished live with the immortal Matt Brown, the number 5 ranked welterweight in the world. He'll be making an announcement, I'm sure, anytime soon, so stay tuned for his next fight. Ladies and gentlemen, he has won 8 of his last 10, including UFC 189. Matt Brown, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Dude, that guy's badass.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to talk to Matt Brown. I'm a big fan of his inside and outside the octagon because of his story and just everything he's done. Man, who the hell is he fighting? Who is he fighting?
It's got to be a top 10 fighter, right? Who's a top 10 fighter that doesn't have a fight lined up right now?
Maybe it rhymes with Byron Smudley.
Ooh, Tyrone Woodley. Interesting. And I'm just
Those
getting...
are the two guys. Those are the two guys that
Wait.
come to my mind that I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight Woodley and Condit. Those are the two dudes that I want to see, and those are also two guys that I want to see fight each other again because I got robbed in that first one. I want to see Woodley and Condit go at it again.
What was Tyron Woodley's last fight? Did he win, or you have to look that up? But
Woodley's on a streak. I know that. He's got 2 in a row.
Well,
Beat Gastelum.
Woodley beat...
Gastelum.
Gastelum, yeah.
well, he lost to Gastelum, I think.
No, he beat him by split decision, and
Oh,
he beat Stun Gun by TKO in the first round. So he's on a 2-fight win
Yeah,
streak.
and he beat Carlos Condit, so...
Yeah, or as Nick Diaz would call him, Carlos Conduit.
I'm getting some text messages from people saying they're watching the show and it looks great, looks extremely legit, and keep up the good work. Thank you to everyone for your support. In 10 minutes, we've got Mick the Nerd talking trade, talking trivia, the real Howard Stern's Mick the Nerd. We also have at 9:40 Phil Baroni, but I want to get into something real quick. RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, UFC lightweight champion. He's going back and forth on Twitter with Cowboy Cerrone. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so he's saying Cowboy is drunk. Cowboy is saying that RDA is out of shape and can't pass the drug test. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I caught up with the UFC lightweight champion, Rafael Dos Anjos, just the other day, this weekend, at a barbecue at Babalu's gym. So now we're going to hear a soundbite, a video from Rafael Dos Anjos, and then we're going to talk about it. So now the next 3.5 minutes, he's going to discuss his knee injury, the therapy he's getting, the Cowboy fight, his timetable for a return, and more. You ready for this clinch?
Hit me.
Now, the UFC lightweight champion of the world, Rafael Dos Anjos.
Recovery is going well, and I just did 2 days ago another PRP session, which is the plasma thing, take your blood out and put back on your knee. And I'm doing my best to recover, to get back as soon as I can. And nobody more than me wanna be back on the octagon. And so right after I do the PRP I did 2 days ago, I need to rest 5 more days until the swallow goes away, and then I'm gonna start the rehab again. But it's going well, getting along. I'm able to train not ground game, not wrestling yet, not scramble, but everything I do with my knee straight I'm able to do. But I'm not able to do anything sideways. For example, kicks, change direction fast. But I did some boxing sparring, boxing meets, and bike. I'm doing some conditioning too, but upper body, and I'm doing whatever I can. Of course, if you watch my previous fight, I'm blessed to have that. I've been always getting better each fight by fight. So when I fought Ben Henderson, I was one fight, and then I fought Nate Diaz, I got better, and against Pettis, I got even better. So for sure, on my next fight, I will be even better. Yeah, Cowboy is a tough opponent. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be in perfect shape to get there and keep my belt. But he's a tough opponent. But I think I evolved a lot since our last fight. He got better too, but I think I got even better than he did. But if we compare between me and him, I think I got a lot better. But for sure, man, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get in better shape, in great shape, go there and keep my belt. I feel like a complete fight right now. I feel really comfortable when I fight standing up, and I feel great. I'm the best in the world. I'm gonna keep this belt for a long time. Before I wasn't feel that comfort when I fight standing, but right now, and since I started training with the Master Rafael, I feel, and I got a lot better at Evolve MMA too when I spent a lot of time there in Singapore. And I've been very comfortable when I fight stand up now. Yeah, I think in one month, 2 months at the most, I will be back to training 100%. I still want to fight one more day this year. I don't like to be inactive. I want to be an active champ. I fought 5 times last year. It was 5 fights, 6 training camp, and I can't wait to get better, and start fighting again. And for the fans, man, thank you for the support, and I feel like a lot of kindness from the fans right now, people recognize me at the street, and I think finally getting the respect that I deserve, the people being recognized me, I like it. And thank you for following my work, thank you for cheering for me. And always when I step on the octagon, I'm not a kind of guy that talk a lot, like trying to promote myself by trashing talk, but when I step on the octagon, I try to do my best. I try to put on a better show as I can for you guys. Thank you so much for your support.
Wow, that's pretty ambitious for the champion, Rafael Dos Anjos, to want to compete again this year when he can't even currently really train and he's still undergoing therapy. He's going under this plasma therapy. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That PRP stuff, I remember when, I think it was Kobe. Wasn't it Kobe that had it? He was one of the first ones that had it, and he went over to Germany to get his blood spun and put back in. He had like a turnaround from that injury that was unheard of. So I don't know. Maybe it'll work out for his advantage. He's going up against a guy that likes to kick legs. So it could be an issue. Cerrone does like to kick legs.
That is a good point. And since he lost to Rafael Dos Anjos, Cowboy has won 8 fights in a row. So he's looking for, that's the only blemish on his record. I mean, Cowboy is ready for a title shot. If anyone deserves a shot, it's him. And he's active and fresh. I just don't know when Dos Anjos is going to be able to get back into shape and to train and be ready for a fight in the next 4 months.
Quick side note, those 8 wins in a row, they all came within a 2-week period as well. Yeah, so he's been very, very active. That could work out for him to his advantage, and it can also be bad. He could be dealing with some nagging issues. So it could be good for him to have this time off as well.
I just don't know in terms of cardio how he's going to be able to get back in shape in time. I hope he can, and I'm rooting for him. And the guy he's a great champion, a nice guy. I just think Cowboy is kind of like the unofficial people's champ in a way. Everyone loves Cowboy. So coming up in just a few minutes, we have Mick the Nerd talking trade, and then after that, we'll make a game time decision. We'll probably talk Cris Cyborg, but we have Cyborg and Werdum lined up coming up here. So I think can you call in Mick the Nerd? We've got from the Howard Stern Show coming on. Mick, yikes. Whoopsie. We've got Mick the Nerd coming on from the Howard Stern Show, so we're going to have our producer call him in real quick. And then we'll do an intro, bring him in. We'll decide who we're going to talk to next. We also have the badass Phil Baroni. Hopefully we can get into some pop cultural issues if we have time. Bill Cosby making the news headlines again, more allegations. We also have possibly some date talk. I've had a couple interesting incidents where push notifications kind of screwed up my game, if you know what I'm saying.
This is what I like to listen to. I always love hearing your conquests, and epic, and even more so your epic failures.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a incident the other night in bed when we were watching Prank in the Hood videos. I was watching bathroom Prank in the Hood videos with this girl in bed because what else would you want to watch after you're done hanging out?
By hanging out,
you'd want to watch bathroom pranks in the hood. So we're watching Bathroom Prank in the Hood videos, the diarrhea one where they squirt the water bottle of diarrhea under the thing, and push notifications start blowing up from Tinder on my phone. And the girl's wondering, what the hell is this? You're here in my bed and you got these Tinder notifications going on? We're trying to watch hood prank videos? Blew up my spot. So I was like, no, it's just matches. Doesn't mean I'm talking to them. They're ugly girls. Like, I'm not going to talk to them. So anyways, moving on. One of the most up-and-coming famous celebrities in the history of the Stern Show, Mick the Nerd. He's going to be on talking trades with us and trivia. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mick the Nerd. Mick, what's up?
How's it going? It's all good, my man.
Hey, how did you hear about our show?
Just Twitter. I saw someone asking if I was going to be on it and asked for the number, and here we are.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm going to ask you a few trivia questions for a big prize. Are you ready to play? And then we're going to talk trade real quick.
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
Okay, it's going to start easy and get hard, so just be careful. The easy questions are first. Who is the
right.
Who is the creator of the character Spider-Man?
Steve Ditko and Stan Lee.
Holy crap! I thought it was just Stan Lee. He even tricked me. That's pretty good.
Boom.
Okay. Which WWE wrestler known for Suplex City, bitch, was a former UFC heavyweight champion? No help from the crowd. Pass?
Straight up pass.
You don't get passes in this game.
Yeah,
All right,
no
we'll give you
passes.
one pass. We'll play by your rules since you're doing us a favor. Okay. Okay. I don't know what this figure is right here on Star Trek, but I'll get some Star Trek
Star
figures
Wars.
up. Adrian, you
Star
do it.
Trek. Is that Star Wars?
Trek?
I don't know anything.
too.
I don't know anything about sci-fi. Ask him a trivia question, Adrian, about sci-fi, about one of your characters or something.
You're putting me on the spot. I really don't have. I mean,
He stumped me with the pass. I've never done the passes and stuff before. Okay, Mick, guess what? Just for being on the show tonight, we're going to give you a prize anyway, but we have a trade for you right now. We're offering in the box, mint condition, unopened, Jack's Action Figures collector's item, Brock Lesnar Series 9 UFC action doll. What do you have to trade for us? We're not asking much.
But wait, you mean answer to the question or just
No,
response to this in general?
Just response to this in general.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. That'd be very cool. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, what do you have to trade? What were you willing to offer a trade? I'm not asking much. Just whatever you got laying around. Do you have any cool sports memorabilia you're looking to part with?
This is
Sports memorabilia.
now, Mick. This is Brock Lesnar. You know, his advocate's Paul Heyman. This is not just your average.
It's not your average figure. This is a hell of a figure I'm offering here.
I mean, he's got a tattoo of a sword on his chest.
Yeah, most of the good stuff I have isn't actually technically mine. It's shared with me and my brother. So guess I'm forced to pass.
Wow, we
Oh.
thought you were authorized. Our source said that you had the authority to make trades. We actually had a lawyer authenticate the Brock Lesnar action figure. It is legit.
yeah, we need to talk to the guy with the decision maker, not the person that's going to talk to the decision maker.
That's true. Hey, let me ask you a question, Mick. How did you get involved with the Stern Show? Because you're just taking the world by storm. I mean, it's incredible.
Basically, I just saw Wolfie at a one con, a Greater Philadelphia Comic Con up in Oaks. Just talked to him, answered some questions, and then spiraled into what we got today.
Well, I'm going to be working the next few days at something called VidCon. I don't even know what the hell it is, but I guarantee you it's about action figures or something. Do you know what that is?
VidCon sounds like a video game thing. Where is it?
I believe in Orange County, the Anaheim Convention Center.
Then I wouldn't know. Yeah, more into a tri-state, 8 area cons. I'm gonna be in Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. If anyone's going to there.
Now, Mick, let me ask you
If
this.
anyone's going, are you trying to bum a ride?
There you go. Yeah, he might need a ride. Anyone listening, Mick the Nerd needs a
No.
lift.
I got a ride. It's like a bike ride and a train ride for me. I'm just telling people what's going on.
Oh,
right on.
okay, sorry.
Well, let me ask you this, Mick, because I read a little bit about you online, and I saw that you're 100%, and I'm quoting the website here, you're 100% single and ready to mingle. My partner over here, Mr. Aaron True, he's been crushing more ass than a college bus seat on Tinder and a couple of those online websites. Where do you get your Donkey Kong love on there, Mick?
What?
Do you use any of those online sites to get your love on?
Nah, I'm honestly if my life's a bit chaotic right now, poor relationship and whatnot. Yeah, I'm honestly never really went on to one of those.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Mick, hypothetical. Would you be more, if someone offered you either an unopened, brand new mid-condition Millennium Falcon thing, whatever the hell they are, or a porn star for 3 hours on the night free, which one would you take? It's an even trade. I'm not asking much.
Millennium Falcon, definitely.
Nice.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is coming
All right.
from somebody who has a 3.5 foot Millennium Falcon.
We're
on the
looking
wall.
at it right now.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause Because, like, with the Millennium Falcon, that's something I'll have forever. What was, like, the porn star thing, it's like 3 hours of sex, and then, all right, that was the thing.
I know, true.
You know the
One
way,
hand,
you know the way out of here?
One
It just feel awkward afterwards, I assume.
one hand you have cheap sex for 3 hours. The other hand you have the ship that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon, a toy over a porn star. Okay, all
They're
right.
both made of plastic.
Hey, I mean,
Go ahead, Adrian. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, what are you going to do for the remaining, 2 hours and 59 minutes? Like what,
Yeah, you don't have a Millennium Falcon to play with.
That's true. Hey, Mick, before we let you go, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, and I'm going to contact you again on Twitter, and I'm going to definitely send you some kind of memorabilia action figure. I'll send you something signed, something cool for your collection, okay?
All right, cool. Thank you.
And anything, Jonathan, you want to say, or Adrian?
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks for
You're
coming
funny.
Yeah, we've been getting blown up on Twitter. Everyone's saying you've got it because we do trades. You've got to get Mick on. You got to get Mick on. So thank you again very much. And
Hey, let me ask you, Mick,
Yeah.
Mick, do you watch fights at all?
What?
Do you watch fights at all?
MMA, mixed martial arts.
Fights? Not really, nah.
Right on.
I'm interested.
We got to
I'm interested. My friends are into, like, martial arts and whatnot. My one friend's into Aikido, and my other friend's, like, basically a black belt.
Let me ask you, can you name at least one or two MMA fighters?
Ronda Rousey.
Boom.
And she counts, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's not a great. I'm just asking this towards ladies or anything. I just don't know the MMA things or whatever.
hey, Mick, did you ever see that video going around where this dork gets slammed by Ronda Rousey, gets his back busted?
You mean that guy from what do you call it? What was it? Entourage?
No, never mind.
That guy's pretty dorky.
Yeah.
All those guys are dorky.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, Mick. Well, we've got.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry. Go ahead. Oh yeah. Before we go, actually, yeah, we've got to get going. But Mick, I'm gonna contact you and send you some cool memorabilia, and I'm gonna come up with a cool trade, and we'll have you back on for sure if you're up to it. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stern Nation, Mick the Nerd, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time, Mick. What an honor. What an honor.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks. that was how he said bye, I guess. That was the real Mick the Nerd from the Stern Show. We tried to make a trade. He was not authorized to make a trade, but we're going to send him some memorabilia. I don't think that we have time. I don't think we have time for. Actually, play the Cris Cyborg video. We got Phil Baroni coming on in 4 minutes.
We got the New York Badass.
The New York Badass live in 4 minutes. Cue the Cyborg video.
I don't think finish her, I think she's fight more, give up, and I don't know. I think the last fight 145, the girl fight Marina Zafir, yeah, and she's asking for fights for the belt. I don't know yet because she don't have a lot of fights, and I don't know, but I'll be aware. I want to fight soon, maybe October. I don't know. No, my lips real, yeah. Lips in my butt. Everybody asking me, your butt, you put the injection for no. It's Brazilian, but no, I don't train with her yet, but I know Gabi from Brazil, and because this week after 1 week, today make 1 week after my fight, and I keep training, just run. I want a little bit break in my mind and training anything about mixed martial arts. Just keep it run. But next week I start training everything. Maybe probably we train together. I'm a world champion 145, and my last fight I make it 145 easier than before, and I work with my nutrition coach George Lockhart. And of course, I would like to make 135, but I want to make it healthy, and I want to keep cyborg. I don't want to make 135 and be weak and cannot fight. Don't make my style. And we, I feel we are ready for make one super fight 140 because all fans want to watch me step out 145 and keep training. Yeah. Yeah, because she's get a trophy, and I say congratulations to her. Because the last time when she's won, I don't know, something about ESPN and UFC, send a message for all fighters, say happy birthday, congrats for Ronda Rousey, and I just send for her congrats about her trophy. I love fight, but a fight is not forever, and I made it 30 years old. last week. And I love fight. I feel healthy. I don't have a lot of injury, but I want to make family. I don't know. I don't fight forever. I want to keep it step over. And almost 30 years old, and almost 10 years I fight. Everything Ronda Rousey got it. I already get it before. And for me, it's a belt doesn't matter. I just want to fight and keep a little bit more because I love this my work. And of course, she's getting better. She's training every day, and she's getting improving her game. Of course, getting better, but she's getting better. I'm getting better too. I already start training with my coach, Israel Hernandez, judo, and because my fight finished faster. And people cannot see my game, but I have ground game, I have wrestling. But my style, I like be violent, I like KO people, and this is my style. But of course, my game improved, and of course I beat her for sure. I will. I want to say thank you for all support my fans, and say keep following me. And I want to say all girls, I started my women's boot camp, and called Pink Belt Fitness. And the second one will be August 15, 16. And people want to follow me and get more information. And thank you for support. Now this is for all my fans. I feel ready for my next fight. And
That was that was Invicta FC 145 champion Cris Cyborg coming off of an impressive 45-second TKO knockout win. Guys, Cyborg is looking unbeatable. We're trying to get Phil Baroni on. We're having a little difficulty contacting him, but we have some other stuff lined up, so not to worry. Ladies and gentlemen, Cyborg says she's ready for Rousey. She'll still beat her. Rousey's progressing. Yeah, Rousey's getting better, but Cyborg says I'm getting better too, just people haven't been able to see my game. What do you think about that?
I'm interested to see if Cyborg has what it takes to keep the fight standing. I know Ronda's gotten better with her stand-up. It's still going to be nowhere near as high level as Cyborg's.
It has got a lot better. I will agree.
Yeah,
a lot better.
If she can keep it standing, I think in the stand-up game, Ronda will only have a puncher's chance at best.
I think that the thing is, people don't realize when Cyborg hits you, it's a knockout punch. If she hits her, she's going down. It's not like she can stand in the pocket and swing and take a chance. And I think Cyborg can land. But then again, Rousey may clinch. You never know. Also, did you hear what I asked her? I was watching the interview, and Cyborg was looking good. So I just got – her lips were huge. And I said, are your lips real, or is that the Kylie Jenner thing? And she said her lips and booty are both real. What do you think about that?
Delicious. Nothing like a full set of lips and booty.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to mention on the Ronda Rousey versus Cyborg, I think that the one thing that Ronda may have as far as striking goes is the speed. Ronda didn't necessarily have that striking in the last 3 or 4 years. She's kind of becoming more and more well-rounded. But I think Cyborg's power is something that people underestimate or something that don't consider when they're actually fighting or sparring with her. I've seen her spar with guys, and guys always seem shocked when they get hit by her. The one thing that Ronda does have going in striking, I'm not sure she has the power yet, but I definitely think she has the speed, and that's something that she might be. Yeah. She might even be quicker than Cyborg in striking. But
the other thing that I think I talked about this last time we talked about this. One of Cyborg's deadliest weapons, as far as I'm concerned, as an analyst, that I see is her clinch game. Her clinch game to me is like as deadly as any man. Her clinch game is brutal. However, her clinch game also plays right into Ronda's game, because if she grabs Ronda,
she likes to push people against the fence.
And if you back up a judoka, she's going to toss you. Mm-hmm. So her strength could end up playing against her. I honestly think to beat Ronda, you have to be able to just stand and box with her. Keep your distance and peck her apart. I think that's the only way. We haven't seen that happen yet. I think Miesha Tate did it for one round, but I don't think Miesha Tate has the power to be able to do the damage that Cyborg does.
I think I'm just gonna speculate, but I think Phil Baroni is probably watching the HBO Real Sports special, Christy Mack on the War Machine thing, because he's gone radio silent, and we definitely had him scheduled. We had an incredible graphic made. We had Adrian, the producer, make artwork for him. Well, you know what, Phil? You called me Aaron False one time on the radio. You're a friend of the show, a personal friend of my co-host. You're banned. That's right, Baroni. Hold on, switch camera angles, please.
Baroni, you're in trouble. New York Badass, you're in trouble.
You're banned. Anyone who comes on our show has won their fight after they've been on our show. We are undefeated.
That's true.
We are the good luck show.
undefeated.
Phil Baroni is my dad's favorite fighter, him and Ken Shamrock. My dad loves this guy. I told my father. He was proud of me. I had Phil Baroni. My dad was proud of me. He was proud. You're banned, Phil. Actually, just kidding. Don't kick my ass. You're actually one of my favorite fighters in history. I wish you came on. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gents, I think we're going to just instead have to have UFC heavyweight champion Fabricio Werdum.
Oh, you're bumping Baroni for Werdum.
We're bumping
that's a
Baroni
tough
for
one.
Werdum. Okay, so remember the video that happened recently where Werdum and Kane were seen like bumping into each other on the movie set?
Yeah, like the nightclub or whatever. Yeah.
No, at the pool scene.
Oh, okay.
So I have him talking about that. I have Werdum talking about when he wants to fight next, who he's going to fight next, if he was the underdog or people knew him in Mexico, or if he was the favorite or not. We have a lot of cool stuff we're going to talk to him about, what it's like to have been on TMZ, what it was like to beat Fedor versus Kane, which one was bigger, he's always the underdog, who he wants to fight next and why, just so much stuff. We have an incredible 4.5-minute interview coming up. Then we're going to get into some pop culture, politics, and comedy stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we have UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Fabricio Werdum.
Yes, I mean, for sure, I'm very happy after I be a champion. I have 2 belts in my home. I'm very happy for sure, and now I started to train again. I have a lot of things now, like media from Brazil. I go to Colombia, Argentina, Mexico. I go to different countries, different places, but I'm very happy for sure. I believe myself all the time. No, I know it's like 70% for Cain Velasquez before the fight. I know that because the guys love Cain Velasquez there. The guys know me there because I'm commentator in TV, like in Spanish, in UFC Network. The guys know me there for sure, not just like in Mexico City, but all the Latin America. And for sure, I know this, but all the time I'm an underdog. I have this gave me a lot of motivation when I have an underdog all the time. I think my next fight, I'm in favor of. I don't know. I just fight. That's it. My next fight, maybe like a rematch with Cain Velasquez, or Miocic, or Arlovsky, or Dos Santos. I have 4 guys. I think it's the best way now. Like Cain Velasquez versus Miocic, Dos Santos versus Arlovsky. I'm just waiting. I'm just watching this fight. And who is the best, who win, good win, or very nice, like a favorite guy for that. That's it. The fans say that. The fans say, Werdum, you fight this guy, I love this. Both victory when I beat Fedor in 2010, when I beat Cain Velasquez now too. It's like for sure, it's like special victories for sure. But I think it's so different. The time is so different, you know. In 2010, nobody know my name. In 2010, the guys asking, who is the guy beat Fedor? This is the question. Today, the guys know me, all the fans, and I think it's different time, but for sure, both is special one. No. Daniel Cormier, I love him. He's a nice guy, man. I know him before Cain Velasquez is like a good friend, and I know. Cormier long time ago. I know him. He helped me before when I come to USA. He helped me a lot of times, like 2 years. I helped him grow a little bit, and I have a lot of joking with him. When I see him, I just I like it. Like Daniel Cormier is a nice guy, man. Now the video the guys saw in my Instagram or in TMZ. He's very famous. The guy, Orlando Sanchez called me, Werdum, you're famous now. I say, why am I famous? He said, you're in TMZ now, you're famous. I said, no. Just like I did in the movie. I filmed in Thailand with Cain Velasquez, George St. Pierre, Van Damme, and the next movie, Kickboxer movies. I think the Kickboxer Revenge, I think so. You know, Revenge?
Was that before or after the fight?
After fight. This is a lot after I filmed after fight, and the first thing I filmed there with Cain Velasquez, and it's okay for me. It's okay because I'm a win, but for him it's not good because he lost the fight. I think it's not good for him. I don't like that, like filming with the other guy, and I lost the fight. But After then, I have a lot of things after then. It's good, very good. I think I just speak two languages, Spanish and Portuguese. My English coming up now. I just try a lot of times. I'm trying speaking English. I think the guys understand me a little bit. And yes, I'm working with UFC. I'm in commentary all the time. When I'm no fight, I'm in commentary in Spanish. All Latin Americas, you have the UFC network, like the channel. It's very good. I love this job. When I'm stopping the fight, I'm just working that. I think it's my next fight in December or in February. I don't know when, but I love the idea. I'm fighting the same card, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. I like a fight in the common event. I think that all the guys want to see this fight, maybe rematch with Cain Velasquez or Arlovski. It doesn't matter for me. I never say for UFC, I want this guy. Never say that. Just training. And I'm very confident for this fight because I train a lot, that's it. Yeah, just say, guys, just believe in myself now. I know I'm very underdog, all the time I'm underdog, but I think I show a lot of times I'm the best in the world. Hey! Yes,
That was UFC heavyweight champion Fabricio Werdum giving us a little insight into what's going on. Man, that must have been weird at the pool after the fight, bumping into Cain. But that's kind of funny. Werdum says, hey, I won the fight, I don't care. But he lost. For him, probably weird. And did you hear how I asked him also about Daniel Cormier? Is Daniel Cormier too cocky now? And he goes, no, he's actually buddies with Cormier, and they used to train together. And that whole thing was just kind of Cormier trolling him during the UFC Embedded series.
Cormier trolls everybody.
Well, I fell for it. He trolled me.
Yeah.
So anyways, he said he wants to fight possibly the winner. Either he'll do a rematch, but he would like to have them do Stipe, Arlovski, maybe Brown and JDS, or just kind of like a 4-person tournament, and he fights whoever the fans choose. Who do you think he should fight next? Because he looks unstoppable right now.
Here's what I want to see him fight Stipe.
Stipe, I think, is honestly the toughest matchup. I know you guys think I'm nuts, but I think Stipe, everyone says I'm crazy. He has the fastest and possibly most technical striking in the heavyweight division. Now I remember, I was at the gym. This is so stupid. I was at LA Fitness, and there's this foreign guy who I was talking to, and when I said I think Stipe has the best striking in heavyweight division, he goes, bro, come on, bro, you're crazy, bro, you're kidding me. Arlovski has the best. Have you seen Arlovski? He's from Russia. He goes, have you seen Arlovski? Stipe's first fight
who's
against
Arlovski?
Well, I love Arlovski, but Stipe's first fight in the UFC, I think against Del Rosario, or the first time when he fought.
It was.
Well, the point was when he fought Del Rosario, they're both undefeated kickboxers.
Right.
And Stipe lit him up.
Yeah.
Del Rosario is a world champion kickboxer.
Rest in peace. But yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, you kind of sidetracked me there. But yeah, so anyways, rest in peace him. But to Shane Del Rosario, but Stipe has continued to impress. He went toe-to-toe with JDS, arguably, I think, possibly won the fight. He went toe-to-toe with Mark Hunt. His striking is unreal. I think he poses a very, very strong risk to Werdum. What do you think?
He lost to Struve. That was his only loss besides the fight against JDS. To me, he is JDS. He's like a clone of Junior Dos Santos, but without the damage that Junior Dos Santos has already taken. I honestly think Junior Dos Santos is a different fighter than he was.
Do you think he's punch drunk now?
I don't think he's at that point,
Or
but
chinny?
I think it's to the point where the damage has accumulated to the point where his trigger time is off, and he doesn't have, that split second timing that he used to have on the counters that used
Exactly.
to, I think that's off.
I was thinking the same thing. The only reason why I think otherwise is Arlovski. I remember people saying Arlovski's chin was gone, right? And now he's come back, and he had that awesome fight with Travis Brown. And
I love Arlovski. He knocked out Bigfoot Silva as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was tested a couple of times in that Travis Brown fight.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's hard for me to say that JDS completely has gone somewhat down.
But that's the thing. Arlovski took one-hit knockouts. JDS didn't get knocked out. He just literally got his brain beaten for 5 rounds in several fights.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think JDS has accumulated quite a bit of damage. I think both he and Cain changed each other. I honestly do. I think they both changed each other.
What is this? I am Kate. On E?
I think that you can't go through a war just like I think Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald. I think they both changed each other in that fight. I mean, something that brutal is it's really hard for the brain to recover 100% from that.
So you don't believe that will elevate your game up? You think it actually takes a toll, and that's one what that lowers you down a little bit.
Well, if you look back at Robbie Lawler's career and at the resurgence that he's had, I don't know if you guys noticed this or know this or not, but Robbie Lawler pretty much stopped sparring. He doesn't spar anymore.
No, he started doing it again. They just you're right. Robbie Lawler used to not spar, and that was his thing. But recently, as a matter of fact, he brought it up on the last pay-per-view that he was on, and that he's actually sparring again once he went to American ATT. Yeah.
Oh, is that
or
is
as
that
Karen
what it was?
Bryant would say, AT&T.
AT&T. Yeah.
Now I'll probably get beat up and lose everything for that.
I can't get fired a second time, can I?
I know you got fired last time we mentioned that. So, anyways, moving on to some pop culture comedy topics. We've already tonight had on the show the immortal Matt Brown, the female champ Cris Cyborg, the 155 UFC champ Rafael dos Anjos, the heavyweight champ Fabricio Werdum. We've had an incredible show. Let's switch it up a little bit. So I told you about the Tinder issue, where I was in bed with a girl and we were watching Pranks in the Hood, the diarrhea one, where they squirt the bottle of fake diarrhea under the thing. Having a great night, having a great time, in my opinion. And the push notifications are blowing up. So she texted me the next day and said, I just didn't want to bring it up, but hey, you got all those Tinder notifications. So I took a screenshot of my Tinder, which I hadn't checked yet, that had all in red matches. And I said, look, I'm not even into it at all. And it's cool. And she said, okay, no problem. So, Jonathan, you did something kind of crazy a few days ago. Before we get into Bill Cosby and Donald Trump, did you go to something called the Secret Session, and what was that?
Oh, man, that was intense, dude. Well, my boy Dante, one of my good friends, is, I'll give him a quick shout-out, El Presidente.
Peter Dante from Grandma's Boy and The Water Boy, a lot of other movies. Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, he's also one of the coolest guys you ever want to meet, and one of my personal best friends in the world. I love the guy. Anyway, he invited me to do this thing because he was doing an appearance there. So I got to tag along. My partner Walsh from the Clinch Report came with us. And I'll tell you what, dude, it was pretty crazy.
Well, what is it? What's the secret? What's the secret sesh?
Basically, it's a bunch of industry people in the medical marijuana business, and they, by invite only, invite a select group of people. It must have been 500-600 people though, into this huge club. And you have to go through a whole bunch of security to get in. It's legitimate. They check your rec and everything, and then it's basically just a free for all. It's one of the biggest. If you walk by it, you can smell the weed from like a mile away. So you can't miss it. It's pretty funny.
That sounds interesting. Anyways, so Bill Cosby.
Oh no, here we go again. Bill Cosby was not at the secret session, by the way.
Yeah,
he was not there.
I'm sure people will get mad if I don't ask you. What was the most impressive thing you saw at the secret session?
Yeah.
The most impressive thing is, first of all, the concentrates from OG Rascals are by far the strongest thing that I've ever. They scare you. They're that strong.
What flavor? What was the flavor called?
White Fire, I believe it was. And then the other ones, my boys from Vader Extracts, the Paris OG was pretty freaking.
Paris OG is. I'm into pop culture and stuff like that, so I know just from that, not from personal use or anything. Don't condone any of that crap. Any of that double hippie lettuce, you bunch of punk ass hippie losers.
It'll turn you into a masturbating fool. It really will.
Bunch of goddamn losers is what they are. Bunch of pot smoking hippies.
Long hairs.
Anyways, yeah. But anyways, moving on to the end of the secret sesh. That sounds pretty good. Sounds incredible. But we have Bill Cosby situation.
Oh shoot! What do you do now?
Did you hear? Now they're trying to unseal the records where he admits to giving quaaludes to several women. The problem is he has a confidential settlement. So right now it looks like they're trying to possibly prosecute or bring him down for drugging and raping all these women allegedly.
Let me ask you guys: have you ever taken? Because this is they always screw up drug effects in movies. Like when an actor takes a drug, they always screw it up and they make it nowhere near like it actually is. Have either of you guys ever taken a Quaalude before?
I have not, but I just remembered Paris OG. I was going to say, from knowing pop culture, it's a Cannabis Cup winner of the year, one of the best strains on earth in the world. So I've even heard of it.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so I have never taken a Quaalude before. Okay. I don't even know what the hell it is.
All right,
I've never been offered a Quaalude.
I took a couple. We got a couple. My boy in college got me a couple once.
Oh jeez.
And
just so the guy let you guys know,
this is like back in 1995.
He's 20 years older than he looks. He's in his 50s.
So Did you see the movie, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie?
Of course, Wolf of Wall Street.
That is exactly what happens when you take Quaaludes. Your body just stops working. You're like, what the fuck? and it turns you into like a drooling specimen. So if he was giving those to chicks, if especially at any dosage, there is no way in hell they were in any shape or form to be consensual. It's impossible. I've taken Quaaludes before. I know what they do. And I was a seasoned drug user.
So you're saying you think that allegedly you think he's guilty?
Allegedly.
Well, he said it.
He said it.
Okay, well, you think he's guilty? Well, guess what? We have someone on the phone who disagrees with you. We have a caller.
Uh-oh.
Bronco G, you are on the air.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I used to go by the name Bronco Graveyard. Now it's Bronco Sweatyard. And I'd like to say Bill Cosby's only guilty of breaking every TV network's ratings in the books. Yeah.
Is this Macho Man?
No. I'm from the South. I eat a lot of baked beans. As I like to say, listen, I'm a little more excited because I had my special tonight. It's scrambled eggs and Quaaludes. I do a little chorizo and scrambled eggs, and I mix little Quaaludes from the 80s in it. I got a couple left. If anybody's interested, find me on eBay.
Well, hold on. Hell no. We're not selling it. Hey, Bronco, so you don't think that Bill Cosby, that he did this? Do you think he's guilty?
I think the only thing he's guilty of is helping mates like myself meet my fellow whites, plural. If you're looking for any of those out there, it's a little bit of chorizo and scrambled eggs. That's all.
Bronco, let me cut you off. I guess I'm reading between the lines here. So pardon me if I get this wrong, but are you trying to tell us that Bill Cosby is innocent and in fact it was Theo Huxtable that was doing this?
I'm going to pardon you because you did get it wrong.
This guy's wasted.
Are you on Quaaludes right now, Bronco?
No. I only sell them. I don't.
Oh God. Here we go.
I keep them between my ankle and my sock. Scrambled eggs and Quaaludes.
All right, before we get rid of you, is there anything that you want to say about the women, the possible victims? It's a tragedy. Is there anything you want to say in support of them?
I have one thing only to say. I say, goddamn, motherfucker, what the fuck would goddamn Ronda Rousey do if she had herself a Bill Cosby in her bed? And what would she do? Would she take the Quaalude just for fun, or would she fucking say, hey, fuck
I cut
you?
this guy off.
Yeah, I think Broncos had
hang up on this guy.
I think Broncos had a little too many steel reserves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I liked where he was going, where in terms of would Ronda be able to handle herself in empowerment of women, but he wasn't going in that direction. So, Bill Cosby, they're trying to unseal the records. He admitted it. This is not looking good. It looks like the legacy of Bill Cosby is continuing to tarnish. Last thing before we get going here, guys, we've had an incredible show already. Donald Trump. The more he talks badly about people, the more his ratings go up. He just said John McCain is not a war hero. What do you think? Is McCain a hero?
John McCain got caught. War heroes don't get caught. You're fired. He is. You got to give him credit. You really do, because he's literally doing everything wrong and still getting more and more ratings. So it's pretty funny. I'm just waiting, because I'm sure it's going to end up sinking him. I'm just waiting for him to come out and say something like dropped an N-bomb or something like that.
By the way, did you hear his bounty?
Is that true? El Chapo put a bounty? We're gonna
$100 million bounty on Donald Trump that El Chapo put on.
Now, if I was El Chapo, I'd do it a little differently. I wouldn't want to kill the guy. El Chapo's got all the power in the world, and I'm not criticizing you, sir, by any means. If you're listening,
he requested for his head. $100 million for his head.
I would do it differently. I'd be like, I would give $100 million to whoever snatches that fucking hairpiece off his head in public and gets it to me.
$100 million?
$100 million for that hairpiece. It would also, first of all, he would lose the election. He would lose the election if he got his hairpiece ripped off.
What? Why?
It's like Samson. It's like Samson, the power
that
of
would
hair.
not only that, but it would be like the Howard Dean moment. Remember, like the Howard Dean moment. Like
We're gonna go to Texas and Kentucky and Georgia. Rah!
yeah, like the guys in the Democratic bus were like, "This guy's doing great. This guy." No, So if someone ripped that hair off, like in the middle of if anybody rips, I'm gonna go on a limb here. If anyone rips Donald Trump's hair off in public,
Don't go on a limb on this one.
you can come on the Clinch Report anytime you want
That's
for free
fine with
air.
me.
Hey,
That's fine with us. We're not. This show is.
We don't condone any of this. We're not part of this.
Yeah, not affiliated with it.
I can't stand the guy, and I can't believe he's actually getting more votes. It's pretty funny.
Well, he's the chances of anybody touching him anymore now is even higher, or less rather, because he increased his security. He has his whole, he's wearing a bulletproof vest now
Oh,
at
wow.
all times. So. He's taking the threat seriously as he should, and I know he contacted the FBI, but the bounty, it's $100 million.
Yeah, I don't condone any of that stuff, and I hope that he's okay.
Let me just point out
regardless
one thing.
of political views, you don't want to see anyone get assassinated.
If he becomes
Right.
a top candidate, if he becomes one of the top,
He is the top. He is, I believe, leading that
No, but
party, isn't he?
When
I think he's leading the party.
when it all starts to come down to like convention
That's
time,
crazy.
if he's one of the top guys, he won't need to hire security anymore because the U.S. government
Exactly,
will
they're gonna
be
provide it.
paying for it for him.
Exactly. I believe that he is one of the top guys. McCain, to be honest, I really didn't like him when I was younger because I went to University of Arizona, and Arizona is a shithole.
Yeah.
And the university was great, but the state of Arizona just in itself is a shithole. It's a horrible place.
Well, there goes Arizona. We just lost one listener.
I don't like McCain's
Yeah, well, I don't
politics
care.
either.
Well,
the guy's
but
a-
let me get finished. But plus, he tried to get the UFC banned. So
Yeah.
he's at boxing matches ringside when people have actually been murdered in the ring or died after. I think someone died after the fight. Someone he watched fight.
Wow.
And he's getting the UFC ban.
Yeah.
He ruined the sport I loved, the diehard Dark Ages. But then I realized I didn't know I knew his story, but I saw the documentary, Locked Up Abroad, the prison thing. He's an unbelievable story. He's a genuine United States hero. He's an incredible guy. I kind of regret not giving him a fair shake based on just the UFC agenda bullshit.
not only was he one hell of a hero and an American legend. I don't agree with his politics at all.
No, but just in terms of being a captive prisoner and choosing to stay when they wouldn't let other guys leave.
he had the opportunity to go home.
Exactly, and he stayed.
And
He
he
didn't
said,
want
no.
He didn't want preferential treatment.
Nope.
So
I stay with my guys.
Also, his stance on MMA has changed, I believe.
exactly, and
Yeah.
now he's a big fan supposedly, and he's involved in legislation, and the whole thing is different now, obviously, because now he knows he can make money off of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's pretty easy. It took us 2 seconds to attack the man's policies, and we still lauded the man as a hero. Donald Trump's such a friggin' moron that he has to go, oh, heroes don't get caught. Are you serious right now? In every John Wayne movie that ever was, he gets caught and then breaks out. You know what I mean? Come on. The hero always gets caught.
I really don't think he's gonna be. I know that he's very popular because of who he is and what he stands for. What he's saying is just getting him on the spotlight. But I just don't think it's gonna actually come to fruition where he's gonna actually become a candidate. And people are. Maybe in the South, but everywhere else, I really don't believe. That's gonna.
All right, well, we're gonna just do 2 more things before we get going, running over time here. First, Adrian. Last week, you let us have some of your beer. Can we have that again, possibly tonight?
Yeah. Of
Okay,
course.
tell us about the flavor, about the beer. I wish you could pour a glass even of it real quick if you want me to stall for a minute to show on the camera.
I don't know if I have. Yeah, no, I don't know if I have.
Okay, that's
the
fine.
same.
Just tell us. It was incredible. Tell us about the beer.
So I don't know what I gave you. I'm trying to remember.
The raspberry one.
Oh, the raspberry. Yeah,
It
yeah.
tasted like a freaking
Tasted like
pop,
an old
like a soda
seltzer, a
pop.
New York seltzer
Yeah.
you drank when you were younger.
Yeah, it's that was something that I made a double batch. So it was two beers with the same beginning. It's a Belgian wheat beer, and originally it was supposed to be with coriander and orange peel. But what I did is I split it off because my wife wanted some beer. She doesn't really drink beer, so I asked her what fruit she likes so that we can make maybe a fruit wheat beer. And she liked raspberry, so that's why I made the raspberry. So I actually used fresh raspberries, and it gets a little complicated because as you add fruit into the fermenter, it adds sugar, and so the sugar turns into alcohol and CO2. So you can't bottle. It takes longer, so you can't bottle it once you put fruit in. You have to wait for all the sugar to be converted to alcohol. So
It was such a subtle the raspberry flavor was such a subtle taste, and the carbonation, which I commented, was so even. It didn't even taste like a beer to me. It really it tasted out of this world. It was delicious.
Are you willing to do possibly a giveaway to give a bottle away sometime on one of the shows?
Yeah. I I don't know if we can. That's a good question.
Well, I said giveaway, not sell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I know. I was thinking when you're describing it,
Yeah.
the legalities of actually selling it on the show, because you've got a hell of a product and we've got a good platform here.
Yeah.
I'm seeing dollar signs, baby. We're moonshiners.
Yeah.
We're bootleggers.
Can we win on this one, or no? We can't win on this one either.
You know what? I'll allow you guys to be part of it. I'll come up with a trivia.
We'll talk to a lawyer. We'll talk to. I'm gonna reach out. I'm friends with. We'll reach out to our lawyer friend.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And we'll ask him. He'll give us the scoop. Okay. So last thing before we go, El Chapo. I think he's gone. Is he gone?
No.
Well, no. Where is he then? Not gone like dead, but he's vanished and now he's running stuff. We haven't heard anything.
Dude, El Chapo is so baller. That dude was out getting gas this morning. He was in the grocery store. He don't care. He's somewhere not caring in plain sight. Just you know what El Chapo is? He's the 2015 version of Whitey Bulger. He's living in Santa Monica.
He's your neighbor. He's living next door to you. He's probably living in the apartment next to you.
Did I tell you I used to walk my friend Brian. I used to stay on his couch when I first moved out here, and I used to walk his dog Humphrey up and down that block all the time. I walked in front of that house probably 20, 30 times in front of where
we're gonna have to pick your brain about that sometime. You're from the East Coast as well, right?
Yeah, but I'm from Long Island. I'm not from the Boston area. I'm from Chris Weidman, Matt Serra, Ryan LaFleur country.
Okay. Any last burning desires before we finish things up here, fellas?
No? I think that was it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, real quick. Who do you guys have? Dillashaw versus Barao.
Oh, and we didn't talk about Duffy and Mir. Damn. Adrian, do you mind if we do 4 more minutes, or we gotta go?
No, it's fine.
Okay, 4 more minutes, guys. First off, I know Jonathan, you mentioned Duffy Mir. Mir made I think $275,000 after bonuses, Reebok, all that crap, whatever. And what's his face? Todd Duffy. What's his face? The Duff man, who I actually respect a lot.
Duff man.
He made $12,000.
$12,000.
$12,000 main event, knocked out years off his life.
Don't worry, guys. You got some Reebok money coming in.
$5,000, $6,000.
No, he made like $5,000 though. Reebok. He made
It's his 5th fight in the UFC.
I couldn't even.
Okay, but
see, this is another thing
okay,
this is another thing, like saying before about the Stitch Duran. You would think the UFC would want to avoid looking silly. That's a main event fighter fighting a 2-time UFC champion on a Fox Sports card, and you're gonna this pay is going. It's gonna be disclosed. It's going to be disclosed.
Yeah, but the thing is, they always say that they get backroom bonuses, and honestly, the fighters are not going to disclose that for tax reasons, for personal reasons, and whatnot.
Yep.
And the UFC loves that as well because it gives them leverage where a fighter doesn't. I mean, the fighter will lose that leverage where they can say, oh, so and so got this much amount. I think that's what happened with what's his name from the Scrap Pack.
Gilbert Melendez.
When Gilbert Melendez got
and
all that
Shane
money,
Carwin supposedly got $400,000, $400,000 check when he fought Brock Lesnar, a backroom bonus.
What would you guys think to a fighter like a mid-range guy like that? What would you think of if you were Todd Duffy? Would you take $40,000 a year and $15,000 a fight as a salary?
well, I think it's the question is he's
The
doing
40,000 guaranteed if you don't get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what I was thinking. I think
Hell
the
no.
UFC should
After training and supplements and rent and living, that's nothing.
Yeah, but you know what he's doing it for? Just like a lot of MMA fighters. I think the reason why they do it is not for the. It's a long term, right? It's not an immediate how much money they're going to get paid. It's the potential about how much they're going to make. So
you're taking a risk,
right?
Okay, and then like you said, last thing I forgot, Dillashaw Barao 2. Plus, obviously, Filthy Tom Lawler. He'll get the W because he was on our show. Misha Tate against Jess Guy. If Misha Tate wins, Ronda Rousey fight again. Misha Tate, in my opinion, one of the most well-rounded women on earth.
Or Misha Tate and
Jessica Eye.
Or Misha Tate, if she wins,
the winner, I think, will get the shot at Rousey.
Or
whoever.
Or Cyborg. Cyborg was talking about fighting Misha Tate as well. They were talking about making that fight up. So
that's cool. And Misha and Cyborg are both respectful of each other, saying it's a sport. So that'd be cool to see that happen.
I love Misha Tate's technique. She's got amazing technique.
She needs better striking.
That's what you call it?
I wish she would go.
She can't bust a grape. She just doesn't have the pop in her punches.
I'd say a lot of people beg to disagree about her popping grapes in people's pants on the regular, my friend.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure she should do that, but I've seen her. I mean, even when she snapped Ronda Rousey's head back with a right hand that we were watching.
Yeah, but she doesn't have technical, and she didn't follow up. If she trained for 6 months at a striking gym like a legitimate kickboxing gym, like a King's MMA or something, or AKA, she would be the world champion.
I kind of disagree with both of you guys, and this is why.
Well, you can fuck yourself then.
Well, you are 100% right to be wrong. It's a free country.
The only reason why you guys are criticizing her power, and I think sometimes power, you're born with it. I believe you're born with it. In some ways, some guys, technically they get better, their striking get better, but as far as power, it's not something that you learn. Like knockout power, not everybody has it. You can see a most technical fighter. Look at Rory McDonald, right? He's extremely technical, but does he have knockout power? Not really, right? And look who he's training.
Not against a guy like Robbie Lawler, who's got a neck on top of a neck.
He landed a hell of a head kick. It just didn't knock him out. But you're right, he's a volume guy. Last fight, Barao Dillashaw 2. Do you see it going any other way? Barao's training with the same people, I believe, and Dillashaw's training with the same people.
I think Renan Barao wins this fight.
Wow. I like Barao actually a little bit, and I've seen TJ Dillashaw. I have video of him getting knocked out, TKO'd by Rafael Cordero with body shots.
Yeah, that's right. You need him in the body.
And a couple times. So I think that Barao could land shots, but it's just, I just don't see it going any other way. I think Barao is just that TJ it's like Liddell and Tito. It's like Anderson and Rich Franklin. It's the guy he's not going to be able to get past. That's my opinion, though, and I'm probably wrong. That being said, this is Aaron True, 2010 MMA Report of the Year nominee, joined by Jonathan Clinch King from the Clinch Report, Adrian Gallegos from MMA Prime TV. This has been an action-packed, incredible show. We had live the immortal Matt Brown, champion Cris Cyborg, UFC champion Rafael Dos Anjos, UFC champion Fabricio Werdum. We had Bronco G, whoever that guy was.
That guy was the best.
And we had Mick the Nerd, the real Mick the Nerd.
From the Stern Show. That was pretty crazy.
So we're going to keep bringing action-packed shows.
That was the first time. That was not the second time we've had him on? That was actually the first time we've had him on?
That was Mick the Nerd.
That was
Let's
Mick
leave it
the
at that.
Nerd.
That was the real from the Stern Show. That was the real.
We had issues.
That was the real Mick the Nerd. Yeah. The real Mick the Nerd.
That was the authentic
I think we got
version.
pranked a few times by people pretending. That was the real one.
Yeah, that was the real
So,
dude.
anyways, we're going to be bringing you action-packed shows every week, once a week. We're bringing you the top names in the sport. Consistently. Each week we say, how can we do it again? And we do it again. So keep checking back weekly, The Brutally Honest Show. You won't want to miss it. More to come next week, The Brutally Honest Show. Thank you very much.